scores with a rocket from 30 yards out, but the Timbers get one more and win the all-important game 3-1. Today, the Drillers are back in the sunny climes of Edmonton to host a team that have lost 2 in a row, but are still the powerhouse of the league. From Commonwealth Stadium, North American Soccer League action between the New York Cosmos and the Edmonton Drillers. Just a crucial loss to Portland on Wednesday, and then the word from Drillers owner Peter Pocklington that a coaching change is on the way at the end of this season. But the Edmonton Drillers are going to have to push all of that controversy aside if they plan to win here today and stay in wild card playoff contention. After yesterday's action, the Drillers are 18th overall, 14 points shy of taking the last wild card, and they have just 4 games to go. Now, Brian, when we talk about the New York Cosmos, we're talking about a team laden with some of the best talent in the league, and in particular, Giorgio Canaglia.
Oh, there's no question. He's their team captain. He's their leader. He has 28 goals in 28 games so far this season, and he's going to have to be watched very carefully.
In the midfield, another key player, Bogicevic.
Oh, Bogicevic he's a playmaker, Randy. They rely upon him to get the ball through to Giorgio. He has the most assists in the league, I think, this year so far, and again, a key player to be watched by the Edmonton Drillers.
Well, I think it's obvious that the Edmonton Drillers are going to be forced to play some sort of a defensive kind of game, and a couple of players in particular who are going to be important in that.
Well, I think Joe LaDuca is going to have a hard game today. I imagine he's going to be man-on-man with somebody on the New York team. I don't know who that would be at this moment, so they look for a strong game from Joe, and I think that Bernie James likely will be marking Canaglia, and of course, they've got to try and keep him off the scoreboard if they can, because he's generally a 1 or 2 goal scorer. If they stop him from scoring, they may have a chance.
Well, the New York Cosmos have not lost 3 in a row since 1974, and as we mentioned, the Edmonton Drillers are in a fight to make a wild card playoff spot. It has all the earmarks of being a great game. From Commonwealth Stadium, the Cosmos and the Drillers. The crowd continue to filter into Commonwealth Stadium here as we get set for this game between the Cosmos and the Edmonton Drillers. And first, let's have a look at the lineups for the Edmonton Drillers. Starting in goal tonight, today will be Pertti Elia. On the back line, it'll be Joe LaDuca, John Webb, Peter Nogley, and Bernie James. In the midfield today, Kai Huskabee, Dwight Lodovegas, and Drew Ferguson. And up front, Eddie Kirshner, Rawson Garrow, and Tommy Christensen. And for the New York Cosmos, a bit of shuffling in their lineup, but Birkenmeyer is in goal as he's been all year. Eskandarian, Yarushi, Durgan, and Reisbergen in the back line. In the midfield, it'll be Johan Naskins, Julio Cesar Romero, Vladislav Bogicevic, and up front, it'll be Vander Elst, Canaglia, and Chico Borja. And the referee for today's game is Mr. Ian Foote, a visiting official from Scotland. The senior linesman will be John Meechan from Vancouver, and our junior linesman for today's game, Willie Van Dujevoit from Michigan. And the game just getting underway now. The Cosmos in their road blue uniforms moving from the left of your screen to the right, and the Drillers in the home whites moving from right to left. And a foul right off the bat there at the 35-yard line on Eddie Kirshner. And it'll be a free kick for the New York Cosmos. And Brian, first thing that's most obvious is the field condition here at Commonwealth Stadium. The grass is very burnt from a rock concert here a week ago.
It's really in bad shape, Randy. I was down there before, and it's bumpy, it's not level, the grass hasn't been cut evenly. It's just an atrocious condition.
Well, we'll have to see how that affects today's game. Several patches in the field worn completely bare. That's Peter Nogley in midfield, being held up a little bit there by Johan Naskins. Naskins goes down, and the foul called against Naskins for holding. Nogley grabbing onto his shoulder there. And it'll be a free kick coming up for the Drillers. People still filing in here. They're really not sure how many people are going to be at this game. Several thousand apparently outside waiting to get in. There's Nogley with the free kick right along the ground, and Hubert Birkenmeyer is there to scoop it up. Birkenmeyer has played every game for the New York Cosmos this year as he did last year. He's really been a stellar in goal for the New York Cosmos over the last year and a half, Brian.
He's played very well for them. He came from the West German League, and he was never recognized as an international goalkeeper or a first-class goalkeeper, so to speak, in the German League. But since coming to New York, he's performed very steady for them and gives them good goalkeeping.
A 1.38 goals against average in 28 games for Birkenmeyer. A long pass upfield for Rawson Garrow. He tries to go up and win it on the header, but it goes over top him and into Birkenmeyer's arms. And he passes it off along the wing. This is Wim Reisbergen, a Dutch player. Putting the ball in for Canaglia. He's being watched by Bernie James, and I think, Brian, we can expect to see Bernie James doing some man marking on number 9 of the Cosmos, Canaglia, today.
No question. They've got to watch him very carefully. Bernie's a big physical player. he can probably handle Giorgio Chinaglia as much as anybody.
Here's Ferguson sprinting across the 35, and he's knocked down. It looks like there'll be a foul. It wasn't inside the penalty area, so it'll be a free kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers, but Drew Ferguson really turning on the Jets there and making a good run upfield.
Well, that was a real good play. One of the few times that you've seen the Edmonton players going for goal. We can catch you right now. You can see Ferguson, and he's just taking a beeline for the goal here. You can see running forward, not looking for the man to pass off, so looking at the goal and going in for the shot. He was tripped over by Eskandarian.
All right, and a free kick coming up from the Drillers now, just outside the penalty area, about 1 yard shy. Peter Oakley tees it up there, and the Edmonton Drillers with a good opportunity early here to get something happening. Cosmos with their defensive wall. There's Birkenmeyer getting ready on the near post. The official still getting everything set up on the Cosmos wall, making sure it's legal. There's Nogley running over it. There's Kirshner with the shot, but it's right to Birkenmeyer, and the Cosmos get out of that one without any problem.
An easy save. What had happened is there is Nogley had ran and had gone over the ball. We can see it right now. You can see Nogley running. What he's trying to do there is shift the wall. The wall doesn't move too much. He does get the ball through. Kirshner gets the ball through, but it was an easy save for Birkenmeyer.
We may mention not playing for the Edmonton Drillers today is Jan Goossens. He's out with an injury, a problem with his knee, actually the back of his knee, and it's spread to his hamstring area, so he is not in the lineup. And Mike Sweeney is missing today's game because of penalty points. He will also miss the Whitecap game. That's the Drillers' next home effort. This is Kinalia to the left of the Driller goal, being watched by Bernie James. Kinalia makes a move, goes to the back line, puts it out in front. It goes off Ferguson's foot and over the back line, and it'll be a corner kick coming up for the Drillers. From Edmonton, the Drillers and the Cosmos. Stadium, no score between the Drillers and the Cosmos early in the first half. That's Kai Huskabee on the far sideline now. Puts the ball in for Kirshner. Kirshner spins around to get away from the defender. Passes back to Dwight Lodovegas. Lodovegas moving in now. A give and go with Kirshner. Kirshner plays the ball back, but Reisbergen is there to play it upfield to Chico Borja. Here come the Cosmos now. A pass up to Kinalia. He'll have to beat Bernie James to get to this ball. James doing well defending against him. Kinalia goes wide. Kinalia still with it, and Bernie James puts it over the back line. Corner kick coming up for the New York Cosmos.
Good defense by Bernie James. He kept him wide, didn't allow him to run on goal, and eventually the ball was put behind for the corner kick.
What a great player. Giorgio Chinaglia holds every possible scoring record in the North American Soccer League. Just an amazing ability to score goals, and that's his forte, and he's the best in the league at that. The Cosmos coming up with their corner kick here now. That's Bogacevic getting set for the corner. Out in front, it's headed away. Cosmos chase it down. Bogicevic again, and it's offside. Vladislav Bogicevic wasn't too happy with that. Back in New York, they call him Bogi. And you may remember he scored that goal in overtime last year when the Drillers were in New York playing the Cosmos, the 3-2 final score, and it was Bogicevic who scored that one, and certainly a good effort by the Drillers on that occasion, and we can only hope for the same here today.
Well, that was a great game in New York, and that goal that he scored, actually, it was the only thing he did the whole game.
This is Tommy Christensen at midfield, playing a ball back over onto the right side for Webb. Webb into Drew Ferguson. Kirshner takes it and brings it back over the 35. The Drillers getting set up here. There's the ball played by Nogley in for Eddie Kirshner. Gets a head on it. Ferguson's there, chips it. Oh, and it's just high. Drew Ferguson, a great volley, and it just went high of the net. Birkenmeyer had to put a hand on it to put it over, I think, Brian.
Oh, it was a really nice effort, actually. The ball comes down from Eddie Kirshner. The ball's headed high. And Drew Ferguson runs in. We can catch this right now at the back end of the shot there, just being tipped over the crossbar by Birkenmeyer. Here we go right now. There's the ball coming in from Nogley initially. You can see Eddie Kirshner goes up here. There's a clash of heads. The ball comes loose. Ferguson comes in, and he just kind of lazily hits that ball, but he struck it very nicely over the crossbar by the goalkeeper.
Back to the live action. Christensen shot. Birkenmeyer's there. They shoot. Oh! And it's wide. And the Drillers with two great opportunities. First the shot. Christensen made the save but bobbled it. Rosslyn Garrow came in there.
Well, that was Kirshner. Tommy Christensen made the initial shot. The save was made by Birkenmeyer. He couldn't maintain possession of the ball, and Eddie Kirshner came in with the right foot and just managed to put the ball wide, unfortunately.
A look at Timo Liakoski and assistant coach Jay Hoffman on the Drillers bench. The The Cosmos at midfield. Robert Arushi, a member of Canada's World Cup team, playing a defensive role for the Cosmos. Here come the Drillers again. The ball coming out to Tommy Christensen at midfield. He has Huskabee on his left. Christensen still with the ball, passes off to Huskabee, but it's too far, and it'll go over the line, and a throw-in coming up for the New York Cosmos. And, Brian, the Drillers so far have been able to penetrate the Cosmos and at least get some chances in their area.
Well, they've played well so far. They've had a couple of good chances to put the ball away, but luck hasn't been with them. They're playing very well right now. They're containing the Cosmos, and it's going to be an interesting game, Randy.
Kirshner and Reisbergen go down there. And it'll be a foul, I believe, called against the Cosmos. And a free kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers. It'll be back about 40 yards out from the goal. See John Webb taking it. Everybody moving back. He passes off to Nogley. Nogley chips it in from the 35, looking for Ungaro, sprinting there. It is just kept in play by Ungaro. Back to Joe Raduca deep in the corner there. He's being watched by number 20, Vander Elst. Low to Vegas now. Dishing off to Nogley again. Peter Nogley, a nice ball through for Ferguson. There's the shot by Christensen, but it is wide, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for the New York Cosmos. No score here. We have played just about 10 minutes between the Cosmos and the Edmonton Drillers, and I'm sure we can expect a pretty good crowd here. Considerable excitement about the New York Cosmos making their first ever visit to Edmonton to play the Drillers. They were here a couple of years ago, I understand, Brian, to play an exhibition match against Team Canada. I was talking to Giorgio Canalia, and he had been here once before on that trip, but it is the first appearance by the Cosmos in the North American Soccer League action here in Edmonton. This is Reisbergen at midfield for the Cosmos. Playing a ball up for Romero. Romero in for Chico Borja, takes it off the right foot, still with it. A nice ball played in there for Vander Elst, but it's gathered up by Perdi Eliad. Chico Borja, quite a story for the New York Cosmos, Brian, and many people consider him to be a shoo-in virtually for the Rookie of the Year honors. A player that the Drillers could have had, talking to Timo Liakoski. He was considering drafting him at one time, and he certainly played well for Coach Hennes Weisweiler.
He certainly has. He's a local boy and came out of the college ranks, and I think he's been a big surprise for them this year. They expect him to come along well, but not so quickly.
Christensen looking to play a ball in for Ungaro. It's kicked out of there by Durgan. Kirshner takes a shot that Durgan stops again. And the Cosmos come back out with it. This is Borja at center. Over for Julio Cesar Romero, but they lose it. And it's back to John Webb. The Drillers taking their time, setting something up here. They're using that long ball, and Nogley is spraying some balls in there from about 35 yards out. We've seen that happen a couple of times now. They're looking to break free of some of those Cosmo defenders. There's a ball in for Kirshner. He goes up with a couple of Cosmo players, and New York wins the ball. It's played back out to center to Chico Borja. Vander Elst. Up for Romero, broken up there by Drew Ferguson neatly. Off the right foot of Huskabee. Into Ross Ungaro, back to Ferguson. Tommy Christensen now on the left wing. But he loses it. Huskabee trips up Johan Neeskens there, and it'll be a foul against Huskabee and a free kick coming up for the New York Cosmos. The Drillers, a 10-18 record, 194 points. They are 5th in the Northwest and 18th overall in the league, and what a difference over on the other side. The Cosmos, 21-7, 182 points. They've clinched their division. They're first there and they're first overall. And they're just points away from clinching another league championship scoring race. Yarushi for the Cosmos. A ball in for Borja, broken up there by Webb. Foul called, though, against John Webb, and it'll be a free kick for the Cosmos at the 35. 32 minutes to go in the first half of action here. No score between the Cosmos and the Drillers. Beautiful day in Edmonton. Temperatures are hovering near the 30-degree Celsius mark, but a nice breeze blowing to keep everything very comfortable. Header there by the Cosmos, or by the Driller player, went over the back line, and it'll be a corner kick coming up for the New York Cosmos. There's a look at the Cosmo bench, and they are coached very ably by the great Hennes Weisweiler, who took over last May. He's coached such great teams as FC Cologne, Barcelona, Mönchengladbach, and the German national team. There's the corner kick, headed away by Nogley. It'll go over the back line and be another corner coming up for the New York Cosmos.
They play the same kind of corner kicks as Edmonton do. They'll play them short to the near post or long to the far post.
There it is, and Perdialaya bats it out of there. And out to Kai Huskevy on the left wing. On the near side, it's Huskevy working against Borja. Huskevy has it broken up by the young Paraguayan. Johan Naskins now playing it back for Eskandarian. And the Cosmos come back. This is Julio Cesar Romero chipping a ball in for Vanderelst. And Perdialaya is there to gather it up. Captain John Webb of the Drillers, who has played every minute of every game for them this year, passing it off to Ferguson. Ferguson sprinting down that right side, being watched by Yarushi. Ferguson tries to get across into there. Webb sliding to try and get the ball away from Reisbergen. And it's played up to Bogicevic. Now, Chico Borja. He's being watched by Nogli. Borja moving into the middle. He can really move, and Nogli neatly breaks that play up, but the Cosmos still have it. It's off to Canalia on the left side. Canalia is trying to spin away from a couple of Driller players, puts it back into the middle for Bogicevic. Canalia still with the ball now. Pushed off there by Bernie James. Foul call on Bernie James. That'll be a free kick in very dangerous territory for the New York Cosmos. And Bernie James isn't afraid to get physical, Brian.
No, he isn't. They were playing it very close there. They couldn't find the opening, and they were passing the ball backwards and forwards to each other at very close quarters. And finally, Bernie James just knocked Georgi Chaglit over, and it was called for a free kick.
This will be Bogicevic getting set for the free kick. He's the master of their midfield, a great playmaker for New York. A looping ball right to Perdialaya, comes off his line to grab it. And punts it way upfield, looking for Ross and Garrow. It's going to go too far and all the way to Birkenmeyer. And the two goaltenders play a little game of punt and catch. At midfield now, this is Romero. Sliding it back over to Reisbergen. Johan Naskins, fine Dutch talent, who took a year off from the Cosmos, attending to what he called personal matters, and has won his job back with this team after quite a battle. And we'll tell you a little bit more about Johan Naskins in the telecast. This is Nogli, a long looping ball for Huskevy. He just stands there and doesn't even move for it. It's over the back line, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for the New York Cosmos. This NASL game is coming to you from Edmonton. All the way over the back line, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers. On Tuesday, we are going to give away a trip for two to Japan via Japan Airlines. As part of our Japanese giveaway, we'll be drawing for that trip for two in Calgary when we're there to see the Boomers host the Edmonton Drillers. And we'd like to congratulate Mrs. Olga Dolnichuk of Edmonton, who wins dinner for two at the Mayfield Inn. Her name also goes into the big drum for the Japanese giveaway. And if you'd like to get involved in our contest, you still have a couple of days. Drop your entries in care of Japanese giveaway into our CFRN, and you could be a lucky winner of a trip for two to Japan on Tuesday. Nogli has the ball played away by Yarushi, and it'll be a throw-in for the Edmonton Drillers. And Brian, Peter Nogli is really assuming a commanding role out there and making a lot of runs upfield.
Well, what we have basically three defenders, so to speak, playing in the middle of the park. We have Dwight Lodevegas, Peter Nogli, and Bernie James. So what is happening is Nogli is going forward. When he goes forward, Lodevegas drops back. There will be occasions when Lodevegas will go forward, at which time Peter Nogli will fill the gap in defense.
There's Kirshner knocked down in front of the penalty area, and there's going to be a foul there, I believe, and it'll be a free kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers. He was sandwiched in between a couple of Cosmos there, Jeff Durgan and Yarushi, I believe, and we'll have to see what comes of that. It looks like a free kick, yes, indeed, and the Cosmos start to set up their defensive alignment.
You can catch this right now. Here's Dwight Lodevegas passing the ball through to Kirshner. He's got the man behind him there. He tries to backheel the ball and go around the man. The man just stands there and blocks him, so it's an obstruction call by the referee.
All right, the Drillers getting set on a free kick. They've had a couple from this post in. Kirshner steps over it. Nogli just harmlessly chips it into Birkenmeyer, who has no trouble at all with that. And the Cosmos come back out with it. No score, 26 and a half minutes to go here at Commonwealth Stadium between the Cosmos and the Drillers. This is Reisbergen taking a pass into the midfield area. He stops and drops it back to Bogicevic. Up for Borja on the left wing. Give and go back to Borja. He's being hounded by John Webb. Here comes Eskandarian now. The Cosmos will try and work it along the right side. He loops the ball in for Borja. He wins the header, but it goes to Perdialaya, who comes out to make the save and throw it upfield. This is Rossengaro, a young Edmontonian product. A ball played for Kirshner that's headed away there by Jeff Durgan, and nicely done indeed. And Durgan, another American, his third year as a Cosmo. He was the league's Rookie of the Year last season. Hails out of Tacoma, Washington, and certainly a fine acquisition for the Cosmos, a first-round draft pick in '79.
He's a big, strong lad. He's like Bernie James. He's taller, probably less heavy than Bernie James, but they play the same position, and he played it very well.
Nice slide there by Nogli to break up a Cosmo threat. This is Ungaro at midfield. Can't play it to one of his players, and the Cosmos have it again. This is Bogicevic. Passing off to Ricebergen. He's got Chico Borja on his left. Back in the middle to number 20, Vander Elst. And a ball played all the way through that nobody gets to, and it'll go all the way back to Perdialaya. Kai Husky standing alongside him, and the Drillers will come back out with it. The Drillers have lost their last 6 games in a row, and it's certainly been a disappointing string considering that they are in the hunt to make the playoffs, and the possibility of making them becomes less and less with every loss. They have just 6 bonus points in their last 6 games. Wednesday they lost 3-1 in Portland. The Cosmos have lost 2 in a row themselves to Jacksonville and most recently to Minnesota. As we mentioned, they haven't lost 3 in a row for quite some time, and they would certainly like to end that string here today.
We just saw a nice defensive play there by Perdialaya in the Edmonton goal. The ball was fed through to Vander Elst on a long run, and it was a dangerous ball. Alaya anticipated the play, came up to his line and cleared the ball.
Peter Nogli chips the ball in for Huskeby. Can't get a right foot on it. Was contemplating shooting there, I believe. Just couldn't get a good piece of it, and the Cosmos come back. Canalia loops a little ball in for Romero, but Sue Ferguson breaks it up. This is Nogli now, plays the ball in for Ungaro. Ungaro trying to beat his mark. He gets the shot away nicely, but it's right to Birkenmeyer. But a nice effort by Ross Ungaro to beat Eskandarian and get the shot away.
And that was good hustle. He broke away fast. He lost the man that was defending him for pace. We can see it right now. There's Nogli feeding the ball through. You can see where Ungaro outmuscles the defender, Eskandarian, but he doesn't get good wood in the ball, and it was an easy save for Birkenmeyer.
This is Ricebergen at the Driller 35. He stops and looks for help. Passes off to Romero. Ricebergen again. Trying to work a give and go there with Romero that time, but it wasn't going to work. And here come the Drillers now. That ball goes right by Dwight Vegas, and I think he was looking for an obstruction call.
No, he was looking for Huskeby. Huskeby should have been up on the play. He just spread the ball out to the wing, and Huskeby hadn't yet got up with the play, and it went behind for a goal, for a natural throw into the New York Cosmos.
All right, so a little mix-up there on Kai Huskeby's part. And it gives the Cosmos possession once again. The Cosmos playing a very methodical style of game. They seem to be hovering around that midfield area, and they're just waiting for a break. Here comes Huskeby again now. He's got Ungaro on his left, Kirshner on his right. Huskeby shoots. No problem for Birkenmeyer on that one, right along the ground and not too much behind it. Here come the Cosmos again. This is Romero sprinting across center. Romero plays it in for Bogicevic. This is Francois Vander Elst. Back in for Bogicevic. In the penalty area and just outside, Vander Elst goes down, but there's no call. He has a look at Nogli. They exchange a few pleasantries. And the Drillers come back out across midfield. This is Lodevegas. Huskeby on his left. Loops the ball in for Ross Ungaro. Too far. Kirshner will run to try and beat Durgan to the ball, but Durgan gets there and passes up to Ricebergen. And another Driller effort is thwarted by the Cosmo back line. This is Robert Yarushi, number 3. As we mentioned, a Canadian national team player, played with the Cosmos back in '77. Here's a pass into the middle for Borja. Canalia now, the left-footed shot. Perdialaya has no problem with that. Goes down on his knees to make the save. And Canalia, one of those players, Brian, when he gets in that close, actually a little closer is where he's more effective, but both feet and the head, and I think Canalia can put him in just about any way possible.
Anywhere in that 18-yard box, he's deadly. If you give him a clear shot on goal, usually he'll put the ball away.
Ross Ungaro for Lodevegas. Dwight Lodevegas playing a midfield role today. Some different tactics by Timo Liakoski to try and beat this Cosmo team, the best team in the league this year so far. Kirshner makes a nice play to get the ball back to Lodovegas as the Drillers try and set something up. Nogley running again across the 35, tries to play a ball in for Kirshner. Borja gets it back, but Lodovegas makes a nice play to win it for the Drillers. Raduca going up there with Vander Elst. It's up for Borja. Borja, a little holding going on there with Lodovegas, and there will be a foul on Dwight Lodovegas on obstruction and a free kick coming up for the Cosmos.
Yeah, good call by the referee. Dwight Lodovegas had tried to go in for the man. The man had beaten him with passing the ball away from him and would try to go around him. Dwight just stood in the way, and it was an obstruction call by the referee.
The Drillers really hurting them because of penalty points. Peter Nogley's going to be forced to miss the last game against Jacksonville, and as we mentioned, Mike Sweeney out for the next 2 games. So that is certainly bad news for the Drillers' playoff hopes. There's a high ball that Canalia comes in to try and challenge Perdialaya for, but the Driller keeper makes the play. Perdialaya starting his 7th game in goal in a row for the Drillers today, and he is sporting a 2.59 goals against average in 17 games this year. This is Webb on the far side, leading Ferguson with the pass. He catches up. He'll have to get by Yarushi. Tries to bend the ball into the middle. It's a little off the mark. Huskabee goes up with the Cosmo player, and they kind of collide heavily there. Romero now looking to pass off to Vander Elst, but it goes off a Driller player and out of play.
Scrappy game right now, Randy. Really nothing fluent. The moves are all breaking down because of either bad passes, bad finishing, or good defensive players.
Lodovegas for the Drillers. Being watched by Bogicevic. Decides to pass back off to Nogley. Nogley looking for Lodovegas in the middle, but Bogicevic breaks it up. He gives a pass off to Reisbergen. Reisbergen leading Canalia. Canalia passes to Romero. Reisbergen pushes Nogley from behind. They both go tumbling, and it goes out of play, and it'll be a free kick for the Edmonton Drillers. The foul called on Reisbergen for pushing Nogley. 19 minutes to go here in the first half of play. No score between the Drillers and the New York Cosmos. The Drillers have 3 games to go after this. They'll be in Calgary on Tuesday. We'll be there as well. After that, they host the Vancouver Whitecaps a week today and finish up the regular season, entertaining the Jacksonville Teemen on the 19th of this month here at Commonwealth Stadium. There's the throw-in for the Drillers. Goes to Nogley. He slows down and plays a ball in for Kirshner. Kirshner gets a head on it, but can't get it squarely. And it goes out of play, and it'll be a goal kick for Hubert Birkenmeyer. This is your Lethbridge Brewery telecast. Back to Commonwealth Stadium. It's scoreless between the Cosmos and the Drillers. New York on the attack. There's a ball played into the middle for Romero. Gets a head on it. Canalia is there. He shoots, and it hits the side of the net. But the offside flag was up. And that negated any chance for a goal there by Canalia, although he did get into dangerous territory.
Catch a replay on this right now. The ball's being fed across long. There's the ball being fed down to Canalia by the head, but he was in an offside position, no question. Probably 2 yards offside. Regardless, he still followed through with the play.
Here's Borja trying to run a ball down. Nogley gets a foot on it. It goes off him and out of play. Off Borja, that is, and it'll be a goal kick for Perdialaya. Some scores of interest from last night. San Diego, they are on a hot tear. They won their 8th in a row, or 9th rather, beating the Whitecaps 1-0. And for Vancouver, that's their 5th loss in their last 7 games. They're having a little problem at this point in the season. San Jose shutting out Seattle. L.A. on a hot string as well. They beat California 4-3. It was Portland over Dallas 5-2. Tulsa beat Chicago 2-1. And Jacksonville beat the Montreal Manic in a shootout. And those wins by Jacksonville and Portland certainly damaged the Edmonton Drillers' wild-card playoff hopes.
One important game today as well, Donnie. The final score is in right now. Washington beat Atlanta 2-0, and that's a bad result for Edmonton also in regards to their playoff position.
So with that 8-point win for Washington, that now gives them 124 points, and it makes it difficult. They will take one of those wild cards now as of today, and it makes it more and more difficult for the Drillers to get into the playoffs. They're going to have to win 3, maybe all 4 of their remaining games. That's Romero playing a ball in, but it was offside. And it'll be a free kick coming up. There's Hennes Weisweiler, the Cosmos amiable coach from West Germany, and known as the coach of coaches over in Europe. Defensive-minded, and which is rather unusual for a team that leads the league in goals scored, but he is certainly considered to be one of the great soccer minds of our time. There's Huskabee playing a ball in that goes right to Romero, and he gets a raspberry from the fans for that, and New York come back out with it. Wim Reisbergen crossing center now. Chico Borja on his left. He drops it back for the youngster. 21-year-old Borja and his rookie season with the Cosmos. Born in Paraguay, and he hopes to get his American citizenship next year. Or, pardon me, Ecuadorian player. He's been living in the United States for most of his life, but is not a citizen and hopes to, as we mentioned, do that within the next year. And Giorgio Canaglia is a North American, and when you can have talent like that, Brian, that's North American, it's certainly a big advantage.
Well, it's very, very important because next year they're going to 4 citizens playing in the starting 11, so it's going to be that much more important.
Free kick for the Drillers. There's Weisweiler giving a little advice to Reisbergen on the sideline. The Cosmo substitutes for today's game are Ricky Davis, DiBernardo, Bouillon, and the goaltender, number 21, Bursick. There's the ball played in for Rossingaro, but he lets it go by, and it goes right to Hubert Birkenmeier, and the New York Cosmos come back out with it. No score here at Commonwealth Stadium between the Drillers and the Cosmos. Beautiful weather conditions, a lot of people sun tanning and enjoying this fine August weather that we're experiencing. Yarushi, being watched by Kirster there, passes off to Reisbergen. He loops the ball across on the other side of the field for Jeff Durgan. Durgan coming up the middle now. He'll try to get by Christensen. Nice give and go there. Kinalia just tries to pump off Bernie James to get to that ball, but it was a little too far away. Perdialaya came out anticipating Canalia's move, and Canalia tends to do that, Brian. He'll try and fake a player to one side, and then he'll just quickly come around and try and break free, and Bernie James is, I'm sure, very cognizant of that, and he's going to have to watch him very closely.
Well, I would think he's been well coached as regards how Canalia plays, and the thing with Canalia is he's so dangerous. I mean, he looks as though he's asleep on you. He's doing nothing the whole game, but just in a spare moment, you can put the ball in the back of the net and you can lose the game.
Christensen trying to play it in for Nogley. Nogley tries to get possession of it, but can't. Huskabee makes a sliding play there to try and win the ball. The Cosmo player goes down, and the fans were calling for handball. I don't think they're going to get... Well, they're saying it went off the Cosmo player out of play, so it'll be a throw-in for Kai Huskabee. But the fans were calling for a handball there on the Cosmo player, and I'm not too sure if it was, although the Drillers do get the ball on the throw-in. Lodovegas putting the ball right into the middle of the area, looking for one of his strikers, in this instance, Kirshner. But Birkenmeier came off the line to grab away the ball. I'd like to award dinner for two at David's Crossbow to Miss Iris Sylvia Evans of Sherwood Park. Her name goes into the big drum for the Japanese giveaway contest. We'll be drawing for that trip or two to Japan by Japan Airlines on Tuesday night in Calgary, when we're there to bring you the live action between the Boomers and the Edmonton Drillers. And if you'd like to participate, you can enter by dropping your name in at CFRN. Player warming up on the sidelines for the New York Cosmos. That's number 16, Angelo DiBernardo, a midfielder. And I'm not sure if we'll see him come into the game in this first half. He is just warming up, but could have something to do with Reisbergen, perhaps, Brian. He was over talking to the coach a little earlier, and maybe he's hurting. We'll have to see what happens. The Cosmos crossing the 35. A good run here, and the ball played off Peter Nogley's foot. But a good run by the Cosmo player. And it'll be a throw-in for New York.
That was Eskandarian who had broken through from a defensive position. He just tried to use his speed to beat the defense and go to the byline and cut the ball back, but it was cleared away for a throw-in to the New York team.
They're getting set for this throw-in, Brian, but I think we're going to see a substitution here now, and it is going to be DiBernardo for Wim Reisbergen. Obviously, Reisbergen must be having some sort of an injury problem, or it's hard to say. We'll have to see if we can find out. But Angelo DiBernardo now coming in for the New York Cosmos. He is listed as a midfield player, and Reisbergen, of course, a defender, and I guess we'll just have to watch how DiBernardo plays it, but I'm sure he'll be playing a defensive role on the back line. There's a ball played in by number 13, Naskins. This is Joe Raduca now for the Drillers. The Huskabee. Huskabee dropping it back to Tommy Christensen. He tapped a little left-footed pass over to Dwight Lodovegas. Lodovegas looping it in for Drew Ferguson. He's got John Webb spreading in. Webb on the outside of the line. There's Kirshner. Tries to turn around to get the shot away, but waited a little bit too long. And Brian, I think we see an instance there where Kirshner just doesn't have the confidence with the right foot to want to take that shot, and he wanted to spin off the Cosmo and go to the left.
What I think he tried to do, the ball will come across low from John Webb, and
there's Huskabee with a header that just went off the crossbar. Gave Birkenmeyer a little trouble. He lost it maybe in the sun. And that head-on by Huskabee was very dangerous and a potential goal there for the Edmonton Drillers. From Commonwealth Stadium, this is Edmonton Drillers Soccer. We're back at Commonwealth Stadium. Dwight Lodovegas just had an opportunity to score, and the ball went off a Cosmo player, so we're getting set for a corner kick by the Edmonton Drillers here. Joe Raduca teeing it up on the near corner. There's the right-footed loop into the box, and Birkenmeyer comes out and just makes a great grab to win the ball away, and a great save by Birkenmeyer there.
Real good save. He had his arms stretched at full length there and just kept hold of the ball very cleanly. Came down, threw it away to one of his players.
These are the Cosmos coming back with it now. That's Francois van der Elst, the player from Belgium. I guess you'd call him a Flemish player. There's Yarushi playing a ball in for Ogicevic, but it's broken up by the Edmonton Drillers. The Cosmos suffering from a few injuries. Roberto Cabanas, he's out with a strained groin, and Sanino was listed as a doubtful starter, as was Wim Weisbergen. Weisbergen's been hurting with a sprained ankle, so I guess that's what's bothering tonight, and necessitated him being taken out of the game by Coach Weisweiler. There's a ball played in for Bogicevic. Tries to get it off to... There's Borja now. Borja still with it. Can't get a shot away. Tries to pass to DiBernardo, but the Drillers are able to break it up. A dangerous opportunity there for Borja. Just wasn't able to get a foot on the ball. It's DiBernardo and Lodovegas working on it. The ball comes out to Yarushi. Ungaro goes right over top of his back. Foul called on Ross Ungaro. Dangerous kick call. And the Cosmos come back. Naskins with the long ball that John Webb heads to Perdialaya, but he slides and grabs it before it goes over the back line, so the Drillers come back out with it. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. No score. We've seen some good chances by both clubs, and actually the Edmonton Drillers have had perhaps the better scoring chances of the game so far. To Ferguson, working against number 20, Van der Elst. This is Webb curling a ball into the area. Huskabee goes up for it, gets the head off, and scores! Great anticipation by Eddie Kirshner. The ball coming off the head of Huskabee, and it's 1-0.
Real nice goal. You can see Drew Ferguson here just laying the ball off to John Webb. It's a nice cross by Webb. He goes to the far post, sees Huskabee. Huskabee gets up very well here. You can see him, he races very well. In the middle, there's Kirshner all by himself, left-footed shot. Catches again another angle right now. You can see there's the ball just being fed slowly to John Webb. Looks up, sees Huskabee at the far post. Floats it across nice. A good job by Huskabee. Gets up well, heads the ball towards Kirshner. He just catches it on the full volley, puts it in the roof of the net. 1-0 game.
The goal by Eddie Kirshner is 14th of the season, gives him 36 points on the year, and puts them back in the scoring lead for the Edmonton Drillers ahead of Jan Goossens, who is out of tonight's game. And the crowd come alive here at Commonwealth Stadium. The Drillers now have a 1-0 lead with about 6 minutes to go in the first half of play. Joe Raduca now, a right-footed cross into the area. Kirshner goes up for that, but it goes over his head and out of play, and it'll be a goal kick for Hubert Birkenmeyer.
Scored by number 9, Eddie Kirshner.
From Commonwealth Stadium, this is Edmonton Drillers Soccer. Back in Driller territory, Kai Huskabee taps it out over the line for Eddie Kirshner. Durgan goes up to win that ball in the air. Kirshner got hit, I think, on his way in to play Durgan, and Kirshner down on the ground now. He's holding his chest or rib area, it would seem. Play continues as Kirshner rides on the ground. Cosmos with it. Bogicevic at his 35, taps it off to Durgan. Durgan looks like he's going to shoot, passes into the middle, but it's broken up there by Bernie James. He comes sprinting across center now, drops it back for Christensen. Christensen over center. Kirshner just struggling to his feet now at the center line. This is Peter Nogley now on the right side. Nogley does a little fancy footwork, passes right back to Vander Elst, though, and the Cosmos break up a possibility there by the Edmonton Drillers. This is Romero. Into the middle for Yarushi. Over on the far side for Vander Elst. Vander Elst crosses over to DiBernardo, or Naskins rather. Johan Naskins, a long looping ball looking for Canalia, gets a head on it, but it goes over the net, and it'll be a corner kick for the New York Cosmos. And I think the driller defender on that occasion, Bernie James, got the head on it, Brian.
Well, actually, it was Canalia who put the ball away, and they're giving a goal kick to Edmonton.
Oh, I see. Okay, so, it looked like they were indicating a corner kick, but it will be a goal kick. But Bernie James so far doing a nice job defending against Canalia.
Well, what he's done in that case, what he's doing, although he can't necessarily reach the ball before Canalia, he's standing basically between him and the goal, so he's not giving him a clear look at goal. In that case, Canalia, all he could do was just deflect the header, see if he could find the net. He couldn't do that. It went behind for the goal kick to Edmonton.
Joe Raduca passing off to Tommy Christensen on the near sideline. He's being watched by Bogicevic. Christensen, a long looping ball for Ferguson, gets a little bit of a head on it. Kicked high by Yarushi right to Dwight Lodovegas. He nicely takes it on the one tap. Lodovegas at the 35. A short chip shot in, looking for John Webb, I think, who wasn't anticipating it. There's a nice sliding play to win the ball for the Drillers. Ungaro back to Lodovegas. Lodovegas, the left-footed shot. He scores! It's 2-0 Drillers. Dwight Lodovegas with a great left-footed shot from about 26 yards out.
Right now. Randy, you can see when it broke down initially there, it was a good stop by Lodovegas defensively, first of all. Faison got a line, laying the ball off. He just catches the far post. It was a lovely shot. It was low. It was to the inside of the post. Here's Ungaro again. Lays the ball off. Lodovegas just lets go with the left foot. Catches the post just beautifully. Bakerman did get his hand to the ball. Couldn't keep it out.
Dwight Lodovegas makes it 2-0 for the Edmonton Drillers. Lodovegas' second goal of the season. And with just over 2 minutes to go, the Edmonton Drillers have an impressive 2-0 lead over the best team in this league, and that certainly has to lift their spirits. Nogley now playing a ball up for Raduca. Back to Christensen. Back into the midfield now for Lodovegas again as he gets a round of applause from the fans for scoring that goal. And the assist on the goal going to Ross Ungaro in the 42nd minute. Make it 2-0. And an impressive start in this first half for the Edmonton Drillers, Brian.
Well, they've played well, Randy. They haven't dominated the play, but they've had more chances by far up front. They've hit the crossbar twice.
Here comes Lodovegas again. He's breaking to the right. He shoots, but it goes high and a little bit wide of the Cosmo goal. And it'll be a goal kick for Birkenmeyer. But the Drillers are getting into Cosmo territory. This is Driller Soccer on CFRN TV. We're back at Commonwealth Stadium, where the New York Cosmos are getting set for a corner kick after a great save by Perdi Alaya. Borja with the corner. Into the area, a couple of players go up for it. The Drillers win it and get it back out. DiBernardo has to take it across his own 35, being watched very closely by Nogley there. DiBernardo playing it in for Borja, but he's offside, and it'll be Drillers' ball. 2-0, the Drillers lead. The seconds in this first half waning down. And the crowd very happy here as the Drillers, who it looked like may have been out of this season altogether, have shown a spark of life here this afternoon and have a 2-0 lead. And that's the halftime with the Drillers amazingly up ahead 2-0 over the New York Cosmos. Your comment, Brian?
Well, a good first half. It kind of took a while to get going, but we had two good goals scored by Edmonton. I would say they're deserving of their lead. There's no question about that. They had more chances offensively. They hit the crossbar twice, Randy, so they're good measure for their lead right now.
All right, so the score at the end of the first half is Edmonton 2, the Cosmos nothing. Time between the Cosmos and the Drillers, and Edmonton with a surprising 2-0 lead over New York on goals by Eddie Kirshner and Dwight Lodovegas. Our regular season coverage of Driller Soccer on CFRN will wrap up this coming Tuesday night at 7:30 when we'll be in Calgary to see the Drillers host the Calgary Boomers, and we hope you can join us for that game on Tuesday night. at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Well, Friday night, the Calgary Boomers took back second place in the NASL's Northwest Division. They've moved ahead of Seattle, and they did that with a 4-2 win over Atlanta. Calgary, looking for their sixth straight victory at home, started off scoring as Jürgen Royber beats the Chiefs goalie with a hard shot coming up here to give Calgary a 1-0 lead. Gerber then makes it 2-1 Calgary with this header, his 18th goal of the season. Then Willie Ryman gets 2 goals in 65 seconds. This left-footed effort for 15 yards out. And then the insurance goal from a sharp angle as Ryman scores again, and the Boomers clinch a playoff spot with a 4-2 victory. Coming up on Driller Soccer, Brian Rice will have a look at the first half highlights from Commonwealth Stadium, the Drillers, and the Cosmos. Our halftime show continues at Commonwealth Stadium to the music of New York, New York, and New York, New York are trailing the Edmonton Drillers by a score of 2-0 right now, Brian, and the Drillers played very well in that first half, I thought.
They did. They weren't dominated. They played well offensively. They had people coming forward from the back who were helping the forwards a lot. They were going for goal. They were shooting from long range as well, Ryan, which we haven't seen that much of this year. And you can see they're looking for goals. They need 9 points, and they know that.
Well, some great anticipation shown by Eddie Kirshner on the Drillers' first goal, coming off a header from Kai Huskey. Let's have a look at it.
It was a good play all round. There's an overlap run by John Webb. He looks up. He sees Kai Huskey in the far post. Posts the ball across. Well, Huskey gets up very well here. He beats his man cleanly. You can just see him rising. Beats the man very easily. There's Kirshner all by himself. Swivels around, catches it with his left foot, and puts it away. A real nice goal all around.
Well, Dwight Lodovegas isn't known for his goal-scoring prowess. He has just 2 this entire season, but the one he scored a little later on was a big one. It gave the Drillers a 2-goal margin, and a fine shot it was.
A real nice shot. They came out of nothing, really, Randy. They were initially breaking away. You can see the play starting from back here right now. There's Wright with the ball. He lays it off. The man picks it up. Again, they come out here, they break away, and Lodovegas makes a key tackle, right there. The ball comes back in. There you can see Ross Sangano just nudging the defender off the ball. He passes it back to Lodovegas, and from probably about 25 yards out, it's a strong left-footed shot low. You can see where Birkenmeyer touched the ball, but couldn't stop the ball from going in.
Well, a couple of good goals by the Edmonton Drillers, but I don't think it would be fair to say this game is over yet. The New York Cosmos have an ability to come back, and they could score 5 in the second half.
Oh, they could very easily, but if Edmonton maintain the level of play that they've had, they could win this game. They can't basically stop coming forward. They can't, form a defensive shot because New York will kill them to do that.
Well, all the fans here and us as well are looking for a very exciting second half. And we'll be back with second half action when Edmonton Driller Soccer continues. Scoring in the first half, Kirshner scoring first for the Edmonton Drillers, his 14th of the year from Huskey and Webb, and then Lodovegas his second of the season from Ungaro, and that's where it sits right now. 2-0, the Drillers leading the Cosmos. That's Nogley playing a ball into the midfield for Lodovegas. He goes by DiBernardo. That's Christensen with it now, or rather being dropped back for Christensen, but the Cosmos break it up. This is Bogicevic playing a ball in for Borja, or rather for Romero, and it's run down by Joe Raduca, and it goes out of play, and it'll be a goal kick for Paradilaya.
Good covering by Raduca. Bogicevic was coming through the middle. Romero went on a wide run on the right-hand side. Raduca came with him and forced him away from the ball. The ball went behind, but a goal kick to the Edmonton Drillers.
No substitutions at halftime for either side. There was one in the first half. Ricebergen coming out in place of DiBernardo for the Cosmos. The Drillers keeping their lineup, and it's been effective for them so far in this game as they lead 2-0. Dwight Lodovegas with the ball in midfield, crossing over his 35. He had Huskey on the left side, puts the ball in. Huskey is there to get it. He tries to lead the ball for himself, but Bogicevic gets a foot on it. It goes over the back line. And I think it'll be a corner kick coming up here for the Drillers. Huskey quickly puts it into play. And Bogicevic goes up high to head it out of there, or Durgan rather. This is Huskey again. Slips on the surface. This is DiBernardo. And he brings the ball out to Yarushi. Robert Yarushi with the ball for the Cosmos. Playing it up for DiBernardo. DiBernardo looking for Kinalia, being just perfectly man-marked there by Bernie James. Kinalia slips and falls, and the crowd get a kick out of that. Bernie James is just on Kinalia, like sticking to him like glue, Brian.
He's played him well so far. He hasn't got much support up front. They tried to play the ball through the middle a lot out of Edmonton. They're using the midfield an awful lot, both teams, and really, as you say, Bernie has played him. He's kept close to him, hasn't given many chances to get free shots on goal.
Cosmos stealing the ball away from Tommy Christensen. Play to Bogicevic. DiBernardo, a right-footed ball looking for Kinalia, but Elia comes off his line to make the grab and punts it upfield for Rossengaro. Durgan goes tumbling to the ground. This is Robert Yarushi again with the ball for the Cosmos. Tries to get by Kirshner. Chips the ball in that gets to Bogicevic. Huskabee comes in to break that play up. And the Drillers have it again. Kirshner for Christensen. Christensen, right-footed cross for Webb. Stopped there by Vander Elst. And the Cosmos get it back to Johan Neeskens at midfield. He plays the ball in for Kinalia, but Bernie James anticipating perfectly. And there Kai Huskabee goes down rather heavily. Could be a foul call against Johan Neeskens. There it is. It'll be a free kick coming up for the Drillers.
Yeah, that's a good call by the referee. Neeskens just went through the man and got the ball, but it was a bad tackle.
And the attendance at today's game, 14,781, and that certainly has to rank as a disappointment for the Edmonton Drillers. I think they were hoping for a lot more here today, especially with the weather being what it is, but the Drillers' record being what it is, I think tells the story, and they can only hope that they can come out of this with a victory and win a couple of more and get themselves back into the playoff race. That's Vander Elst with the throw into Yarushi. He puts it back to his defender, Eskandarian. And the Cosmos are trying to get back into this one. They're out of it by 2 goals right now. Kirshner and Loto Vegas with the Edmonton tally, both in the first half. They may lead 2-0, and we've played just 5 minutes here in the second half. Joe Raduca, the ball in for Kirshner. He puts it back to Bernie James. James was trying to get it up the wing to Drew Ferguson. Thought it was broken up, and a throw-in coming up now. This is Peter Nogley. Plays the ball up for Ferguson, takes it off his chest. He's got 2 or 3 strikers there, 2, Kirshner and Ungaro right there. Christensen wins the ball away. This is Christensen, the shot. Oh, and it's high and wide, and he was looking for the same sort of shot, Ryan, that we saw him score in Portland, and a brilliant shot that one was, but that one was a little high.
No, that was the key thing, was having the shot go, Randy. They're shooting at goal, and from goes distances away. He hit the ball well, didn't get the ball on net, unfortunately.
Ferguson intercepts a pass at midfield for the Drillers. They come out again. Webb making an overlapping run along the right side. Webb still with it, cutting inside a little bit now. Tries to play a ball in the area. Up for Kirshner. He gets a head on it. Ungaro knocked down in the penalty area, and there is no call. Rossengaro was bumped from behind and knocked down, and I think we could have seen a penalty there, Brian.
I think he may have slipped, Randy. It's very bumpy in that penalty area there. There was 2 of them going for the ball. He did go down, but I think he may have lost his footing as well as being hit by the player there.
No call. The Cosmos with it again into Kinalia. Kinalia being knocked down by Bernie James from behind. There'll be no call there either.
That was almost tit for tat because the same situation existed there. Kinalia was breaking through, goes down on the penalty, but no call by the referee. Up
for Rossengaro, being watched by Eskandarian. The ball in the middle, a foot race here, and Ungaro bumps into Eskandarian. It'll be a foul against Rossengaro as he obstructed there, and you could see that one coming for quite a while. And it's free kick Cosmos. There's a look at Vladislav Bogicevic. A fine player from Red Star of Belgrade. He made 47 appearances for the Yugoslav national team, and he is perhaps one of the craftier players of this Cosmo team, and a big reason why they have the success they do. There's a ball that goes offside and over the back line. Goal kick coming up to Perdi Elia. We've got another dinner for 2 to give away at this time. And it'll be going to Mr. and Mrs. Arnold Benke of Edmonton. They get dinner for 2 at Grandpa's, and their name goes in the drum for our Japanese giveaway, which we'll be making Tuesday night in Calgary. And we'll be drawing for tickets for 2 to Japan via Japan Airlines. Mr. and Mrs. Benke's name will go into the drum, and yours can go in too. If you'd like to drop your name by CFRN between now and Tuesday, you could be eligible to win our trip for 2 to Japan via Japan Airlines. That's Romero. over on the far side for Naskins. Playing it up on that right wing there. Into the area, Perdialaya comes diving out and makes the save. Dangerous situation there with Bogicevic and Borja both standing to the side of the net. But Alaya makes the play, and the Drillers have it again.
It was a lovely play, actually. The ball is coming along the wing here. You can see where the winger gets the ball. He passes the ball in the middle. Now, Canalia allows the ball to go through his legs and then just flicks it with his right foot as it's going past. Almost finds the corner. A good save by Alaya.
Chico Borja trying to catch up with this one, but it goes over the back line before he can, and it'll be a goal kick for Perdialaya. Borja showing some of that speed that he is known for, but it'll be goal kick for the Edmonton Drillers. From Commonwealth Stadium, the Drillers and the Cosmos. 10 minutes here in the second half at Commonwealth Stadium. The Drillers still leading the New York Cosmos by a score of 2-0. Chico Borja offside there for New York, and it'll be Drillers ball coming up. And, Brian, if the New York Cosmos are going to come back, they're going to have to start pressing a little more here. They haven't shown a lot of offensive thrust so far in the second half.
Well, they're trying to play down the wings in the second half. They came down the middle an awful lot in the first half. What they're doing right now is they're trying to come wide. They're pressing more than what they were in the first half, but they need 2 quick goals. There's only 35 minutes left in this game, so they've got to come at the Drillers real quickly.
There's the long punt upfield, and Drew Ferguson gets a head on. It goes to Eddie Kirshner. Back for Ferguson. Ferguson's alone if he can catch up with the ball. And it goes off the Cosmo player, Van der Elst, and over the back line, and it'll be a corner kick coming up for the Drillers. Drew Ferguson just unable to catch up with that ball before Van der Elst could, but it results in an opportunity for the Drillers here on the corner kick as Kai Huskeby strides over to the flag and will tee it up. And here's another look at it, Brian.
You can see right now that the ball is bouncing. Kirshner knows the man is on him, and he just flicks the ball with his left foot. Drew Ferguson running on the wide side. He should have gone for the goal there, but he tried to put it back to the sideline. Didn't quite make it.
That's Julio Cesar Romero. Nice sliding tackle there by Christensen, but he's called on that play. There'll be a foul on that, and it'll be a free kick for the Cosmos just inside the Drillers' 35. Here come New York again. This is Yarushi up the middle. Dishes off to Johan Naskins. Naskins being watched by Huskeby and Nogley. Spins around, stops again. Both he and Nogley go down. Be a foul called against Peter Nogley on that play. And a free kick coming up for the Cosmos. 2-0 to score for the Drillers. Kirshner and Lodovegas with the goals. Freddie Kirshner is 14th of the season. There's a header off the free kick by Naskins, but it goes high over Perdialaya, and it'll be a goal kick. Dennis Weissweiler on the sidelines has to be a little concerned at this point. The Cosmos could be headed for their 3rd straight defeat, and as they get closer to the end of the regular season, they would like to erase that losing string and get things together for the playoffs. It looks like they will finish first overall, Brian, and get that bye. But, you know, in this league, as crazy as it can be from day to day, you know, a team can put a couple of good games together against the Cosmos, and if they're off their game, it could be game over.
Well, that's right. It's any team can beat any team in this league. We've seen that this year. But like today's a prime example, Edmonton on a 6-game losing streak, but they've played very well so far, and they deserve to be ahead.
Cosmos back at center. This is Eskandarian. Back off to Jeff Durgan. Durgan tries to play it into the area, but it goes off a Driller foot. Yarushi with it to Johan Naskins. Playing a ball in for Romero, but it's too fast and too far. And it goes over the back line, and another goal kick coming up for Perdialaya. Timo Liakoski involved in considerable controversy this season, having been fired once, and we have had the indication, at least from Driller owner Peter Pocklington, that that will happen again. But of course, anything can happen with the Edmonton Drillers this season, and we'll just have to wait and see. This is Romero with the shot. One bounce, and no problem for Perdialaya, and he just leaves it for Bernie James. Tommy Christensen up for Eddie Kirshner. Dropping it back again for Bernie James. Romero running up alongside James, or Bogicevic rather. Bernie gets by him, and up for Ross and Garrow. Drillers trying to get something going in the midfield area here and looking for an opportunity to break through that Cosmo defensive line. Peter Nogley. A long ball up for Kirshner. Durgan's there, kicks it out of play, but it'll be a corner kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers, and a nice ball by Nogley to get it to Kirshner, right on the mark.
Real nice ball. He fed the ball through long. Kirshner got on a run, took the ball off his chest, but Dagan reacted very well, put the ball behind for the corner kick.
All right, corner kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers. They had just one in the first half to the Cosmos 5, but they've had a couple of them here now. There's Huskovy, goes far to the post, tries to get it to Nogley, but it's headed away by Yarushi before he can. Chico Borja comes up with it now. Borja has it tackled away from him by Nogley, and an offside call as Kirshner shoots and hits the goalpost. As we say, it was flagged offside before he took the shot. There's Peter Nogley, who missed 3 games for the Edmonton Drillers while back in Germany, and they lost all 3 of those. He did play in Portland on Wednesday night. It was not an impressive performance for Mr. Nogley, and he took some criticism over that, but played steadily so far today, and the Drillers have a 2-0 lead. Oh, and a dangerous kick could be called there, I believe. Huskovy came in on Johan Naskins, and it'll be a free kick coming up for the Drillers as Naskins got the foot up there a little bit high. Nogley, a long right-footed kick, goes right to Yarushi. Rosengara's in the vicinity, but Yarushi plays it out to Eskandarian. On the right side, that's Romero. And some nice work there by Christensen to get the ball away. Ty Huskovy plays it back to Romero. Handball on that play, and it'll be a free kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers.
It's been a pretty clean game, Randy. There hasn't been any really vicious or bad tackles. We've had the usual run-of-the-mill foul, but nothing that's really been that dirty.
This is Lodovegas. Dishes off to Huskovy. He goes wide to the corner. There's the ball into the area. Kirshner slipped. Rosengaro's there to play it back. Plays it right to DiBernardo, but the Drillers win it back again. This is Joe Raduca in for Ferguson. Ferguson pushed from behind by Yarushi. No call by the official. Play goes on, and the Cosmos have it again. Dwight Lodovegas just fighting and playing very well today, trying to win the ball. Cosmos get it back again, though. Bogicevic up for Borja, too far behind him. Out of play, throw in for the Edmonton Drillers.
Yeah, Edmonton are pressing them and pressing them. They're forcing them to pass the ball quickly. They're not finding their man, so they're really pushing the pressure on Edmonton right now.
Drew Ferguson with it now on the far near side, into the middle, but it's kicked out of there by Naskins. Bogicevic comes up. Christensen bangs into Naskins and goes down.
Yellow card.
And there could be a yellow card here against Tommy Christensen. So the yellow card will be against Johan Naskins of the Cosmos, the number 13 player on the field, and that's the first yellow card infraction we've seen so far in this game. And as you mentioned, Brian, it has been a fairly cleanly played affair to this point. This will be a free kick for the Drillers. Peter Nogley taking it. He can't get through the wall. It hits a Cosmo player. Kirshner tries to go around Naskins and can't. The Drillers get it back in again. Nogley playing it off for Webb. He's onside. Webb crosses the ball into the area, but too far. Yarushi heads it away, but it's right to Huskevy's feet. Huskovy loops the ball in there. Ungaro goes up. Oh, what a save by Birkenmeyer. Rosengaro's header appeared to be headed for the side of the net and in. Birkenmeyer came up to make a great save.
And there had been a foul called, I would suspect, on Rossongaro. He caught the ball coming over initially here. He gets headed away to Kai Huskovy. Stops the ball and floats it over with his left foot. It comes into the penalty area. You can see Ongaro going up. It looks as though the referee had called an infraction against Ongaro. Free kick given to New York.
Back to the action. This is New York coming across center. Naskins taking the pass. Tries to put it in for Bogicevic. Lodovegas there again, and he is playing a fine game for the Edmonton Drillers. Dwight Lodovegas is. Naskins from 40 yards out. Curls a pass into the middle of the area. 2 Drillers are there. Lodovegas again heads it over to John Webb, and he puts it upfield. This is Eskandarian dropping it off for DiBernardo. There's a right-footed ball played into the area, headed out again by the Drillers. They refuse to let the Cosmos penetrate. There'll be a foul. The Cosmos were looking for one, but no call from the official. Huskovy, a little problem getting the pass off to Christensen. It'll go out of play off the Cosmo player. Throw in Drillers. Eddie Kirshner now. In for Ungaro. But Eskandarian is there to kick that over the line, and it'll be a corner kick coming up for the Edmonton Drillers. And the Drillers, Brian, it would seem, still have the edge in this game.
Well, they do. They're not sitting back on 2 goals, and they know they need all the points they can muster, and then they need 1 more point. They've got an 8-point game going for them right now, Randy, but the more points they make, the more chance they have for the playoffs.
Huskavy on the corner kick. Birkenmeyer anticipates the near post play, which it is, and he gathers the ball and throws upfield. This is Yarushi. Born and raised in the Toronto area, playing for the Cosmos and Canada's national team as well. Passing it over to DiBernardo. He's looking for a pass into Bogicevic, or Canalia rather, but it wasn't there. Naskins and Lodovegas go down there, and Naskins going to get the foul. It'll be a free kick for the Drillers. Nogley quickly puts it into play along the sideline. Tommy Christensen gets by his man. Christensen on that left side. He's got some room. He curls the ball into the area. Rossengaro's there, but he's beaten to it by Eskandarian, and he heads it out of danger, and the Cosmos come back out. But the Drillers getting an opportunity to get wide on the Cosmos here at this point and curl those balls into the penalty area, looking for Nero and Kirshner to possibly get a head on it. And whenever there's lots of chances, eventually something is going to go in. DiBernardo playing it in for Bogicevic. Canalia now looking for Bogicevic again, but it was offside. And the Cosmos having problems inside that Driller penalty area. They can't seem to get the passes to click.
Oh, they're playing a very, very close game. It's like a 1-2 touch all the while, and the Drillers are closing them down very, very well, and they're not really breaking clear at all.
Look at our broadcast location here at Commonwealth Stadium. A nice open-air atmosphere and a beautiful day in Edmonton. Perdialaya with the long kick upfield. Yarushi has a little trouble with it. Zingaro is harassing him from behind. The Cosmos win the ball. Francois van der Elst leading the pass for Yarushi. Yarushi making an overlapping run. Gets a header on it to Bogicevic. Bogicevic shoots. Oh, and it goes just wide. And it'll be a goal kick for Alaya, but it looked like it could have very well been a goal there.
He should have put that ball away, actually, because it bounced very well for him.
This NASL game is coming to you from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The Drillers continue to lead 2-0 here at Commonwealth Stadium. We have 23.5 minutes to go in regulation time. The Cosmos trying to get back into this game. DiBernardo bumping into a Driller player there. Foul will be called against Peter Nogley, and it'll be a free kick for the Cosmos. Nogley called for pushing from behind. There's Hennes Weisweiler and his assistant coach Errol Yassine, a former goalkeeper with the Cosmos and now working alongside the German coach. The Cosmos, winners of Soccer Bowl last year. And there's Ivan Buljan warming up on the sidelines, a Yugoslavian player, played with Peter Nogley over in Hamburg. He's now a member of this Cosmo team, and he is warming up, and we could see a substitution here. The free kick for the Cosmos into the area. There's the header on it by Naskins. Alaya has a little trouble with it, bobbles it, and actually puts it over his own back line. It'll be a corner kick for the Drillers. Nonetheless, he kept the ball up, but had a little trouble with that shot.
That was a good header. It was put down low. It gave Perdialaya some problems. He couldn't keep possession, but he did manage to get the ball away.
There's the corner. Alaya passed that out of there. Ungaro getting a foot on it there to kick it off to the sideline where Romero stops it. He loops the ball in again. Nogley bumping into Yarushi, but winning the ball. Nogley again and puts it out along the sideline to Oxengaro. Joe Reduca, rather. This is Lodovegas now. Has the ball stolen away by Johan Naskins. Back to DiBernardo. Now Francois van der Elst as the Cosmos cross the 35 again. There's the looping ball into the area. Bernie James goes up on the header. There's a scissor kick back into the area. Bogicevic playing it for Canalia. He goes down. There's no call. And Lodovegas plays it upfield to Tommy Christensen. He takes it neatly, going along that left sideline now. Christensen still with it. Chipping a ball in for Ferguson. Off his chest. And what's the call? Looks like a handball.
Yeah.
Andrew Ferguson very upset with that. He tried to take the ball off his chest, but it must have hit him in the area of the arm. Referee saw it. It'll be a goal kick for the Drillers. There's Chinalia, has had little success here in this game so far. One shot that I can think of that's actually been on goal. In fact, that one hit the side of the net. And Bernie James has been given the job of man-marking Chinalia tonight and has handled him very well.
Drew Ferguson showing a yellow card for dissent, Randy.
That's the second yellow card in the game, and Drew's penalty points piling up again. We'll have to see if that puts him over the mark. Although at this point it doesn't really matter, I guess, because the Drillers are all booked up for missing games for the rest of the season anyway. And I don't think the penalty points extend in the playoffs. The Drillers coming back out with it now. This is Bernie James. Laying it up for Kirshner. Kirshner, a nice pass to Ferguson. Here's Ferguson all alone again. He's got Rossingero on his left. Ferguson into the middle to Ungaro. Oh, and he had a chance at a shot. But it went over the back line, and it'll be a goal kick Cosmos. But what a chance for the Drillers to make it 3-0, Brian.
Real good running. You can catch the play here right now. Back heeler by Kirshner to Drew Ferguson. A real good run. Good hard running by Ferguson. He beats the goalkeeper. You can see where Ungaro comes in and just touches the ball with his left foot. Couldn't find the corner of the net. A good effort, though. Real good running.
Great playmaking by a couple of the North Americans on this Driller squad. And a near goal there, and it would have made it 3-0 Drillers, although it's still 2-zip. And the Drillers have dominated this second half without a question. Van der Elst on the throw-in for the Cosmos. Tosses it back to Durgan. This is DiBernardo. Into the middle for Yarushi. Yarushi overlapping a bit now and trying to get something created using that size of his. There's a long ball played into the Drillers area. Perdialaya waits for it on the one hop and then dishes it off to John Webb. Here's Tommy Christensen at midfield. He's got Eskandarian backtracking. A beautiful lead pass for Ungaro. Ross shoots. Oh, and it's high. What a pass for Ross Ungaro. And the shot just went high. And two great chances for the young Canadian.
Should have killed it, Randy. He really should. It was a beautiful ball by Tommy Christensen. It was just led right in front of him. There's no man, near him at all. He's running. He looks up. He sees the goalkeeper leaving right now. Hits the ball with his left foot. Just misses the net.
This is your Lethbridge Brewery telecast. Back at Commonwealth Stadium, the Cosmos getting set for a substitution. It'll be Ivan Buljan coming into the game for Johan Neeskens. Buljan, number 22, the Yugoslavian player. Formerly played at Hamburg with Peter Nogli before coming to the New York Cosmos, and he comes in as a substitution. We have just under 18 minutes to go here in regulation with the Cosmos trailing the Edmonton Drillers by a score of 2-0. Both the goals coming in the first half off the feet of Eddie Kirshner and Dwight Lodovegas. This is Buljan. A long looping ball into Perdialaya and punches the ball over the back of the net, but it'll be a goal. Corner kick coming up for the Cosmos on that one.
That's a good play by Alaya because the ball was dipping. He would have found the net. He just pushed it behind, made sure.
Chico Borja getting set for the corner kick for the Cosmos. Right to the head of Kai Huskeby. Goes out to the 35. Back to... Looked like it was going back to Borja, but he just left. It looked like it was a foul call before the play, so Borja didn't pursue that. And it's a goal kick. Well, I guess it was a throw-in, and Perdialaya taking it now. Borja just stopped on that play. I thought it was a foul call, but I guess he just didn't feel he was going to waste the energy to try and get it.
I think he was considering it being offside, but it wasn't called.
Here's Borja again now. A right-footed ball in for Romero, but it is run down by Joe Raduca, who's doing a nice job for the Edmonton Drillers today as well. Bogicevic into the middle, right to Lodovegas. Back out to Ferguson. Tommy Christensen taking it again from John Webb. Christensen with Ferguson running up along his right side. Decides to go to the far left to Eddie Kirshner. Kirshner being watched by Durgan. Kirshner still with it, trying to play a ball into Ungaro. The ball gets back to Kirshner. Oh, and he skies it over the net, but a good chance on a right-footed shot by Kirshner, and the Drillers are getting the chances, Brian.
Well, they really are, because New York are coming forward basically to try and score goals. They're not scoring goals. They can catch a replay on this right now. There's the initial play. The ball comes back to him. Eddie Kirshner, and he's got a wide open net in front of him, but it's his right foot. He's not as lethal with his right foot as with his left, and he just skied the ball over the crossbar.
But I'll say one thing, Brian. The Edmonton Drillers have been criticized in recent days, and I've been one of the biggest critics. And today they've shown us that they have a spark of life left and want to win this game and want to get into the playoffs in the season because they're playing very well and creating things for themselves. Here's Tommy Christensen starting across the 35, gets a weak shot away that Birkenmeyer comes up to grab easily and dishes it off along the wing. Vanderel's tapping it back to Eskandarian. He goes over to the other side now for DiBernardo, crossing the center stripe. Durgan overlapping on the right. Romero back to DiBernardo. In for Bouillon, and it goes off a Driller player out of bounds and out of play, and it'll be Durgan on the throw-in. DiBernardo leading it for Durgan along the sideline. Right to the end line, the cross, dangerously there, and John Webb wisely decides to head it over the back line. It'll be a corner kick for the Cosmos. The Cosmos really like to utilize that end line play, Brian, and they like to play a lot of balls from there.
They do. They look for Giorgio in the middle. They've got some big actual players on the team, and they look for that headed ball if they can.
Fine defensive effort there by Peter Nogley to head that corner kick by Borja out of danger. There's a long cross that goes offside to Perdi Alaya. And it's a free kick for the Drillers.
If you please turn to page 44 in your kick magazine.
14 minutes to go in regulation. 2-0. The Drillers leading the Cosmos, and really could be 4-0, maybe even 5. The chances the Drillers have had. Nonetheless, 2-0 lead is better than being behind, and they'll take it. Durgan heading that ball into the middle for Bogicevic. That's Francois Vanderelst now. Back in for Bouillon. Bouillon runs over one Driller player, Nogley. And they'll be
tripped up by Nogley, so it's a free kick given to New York. Something of interest, Randy, I don't believe so far this year that the New York team have failed to score a goal in a game. And with about 13 minutes left in the game, it could be the first time this year they've been shut out.
We'll have to wait and see. The Drillers have been very effective keeping them off the scoreboard so far. They've really only had a couple of chances. Off the free kick now. This is Quinalia. He shoots, and Perdi Alaya is right there. And guards that ball nicely. Quinalia found a hole through the Drillers' wall and let that shot go. Perdi Alaya was right on the mark. Here comes Kirshner crossing his own 35 in the midfield for Webb on the near sideline. Webb drops it back to Dwight Lodevegas. He'll pass it along for Huskabee. Huskabee crossing the 35, leaves it there for Joe Raduca. Back to Nogley. The Drillers playing cautiously here at this point, waiting for something to open up and possibly get that 3-goal lead and a maximum point win, which would, again, essentially put them into the playoff picture. At least another victory away, but a lot closer than they are today. Lodevegas, a nicely played ball in for Tommy Christensen. Here he is, he shoots, and it's high. Tommy Christensen taking a great pass from Dwight Lodevegas. Those two players have had such a fine game here today, but a little bit too high and over the net. From Commonwealth Stadium, the Edmonton Drillers. Off a corner kick, the ball headed out of there. Very dangerous play there. And there'll be a foul called against the Driller player. Angelo DiBernardo will be called on a foul. He grabbed onto Tommy Christensen there, and the crowd let the referee know how they felt about that. This is Bernie James with it now at his own 35. Long ball along the sidelines, looking for Drew Ferguson a little bit too far. Eskandarian's there and taps it in front of Birkenmeyer. The Cosmos come back. Very good opportunity on that last corner kick, but was headed out of there by Lodevegas. Julio Cesar Romero now. This is Bob Yarushi. Back in for DiBernardo. Borja at the sideline. Right-footed ball, looking for Bouillon, but Huskabee neatly heads it away. Romero a long ball. Now Perdialaya comes out to bat it away. Doesn't get enough on it to get it really out of there, but Rossingero finally kicks it upfield to Huskabee, who takes it nicely along that sideline. He's being watched closely by Romero. Romero still working against Huskabee, and Kai Huskabee doing a nice job, and here comes Joe Raduca in for Kirshner. Kirshner loses footing there, but Christensen treading from behind, picks up the ball. Christensen moving into the area, tries to get it in front to Kirshner, but it goes off the Cosmo player and out of play, and it'll be corner kick coming up for the Drillers.
It's very dangerous when they're coming forward right now, because a lot of the New York players are what they call cheating professionally. They're not picking up their men, and Edmonton are coming forward with 2 and 3 extra men, and they're creating lots of good goal-scoring chances.
9.5 minutes left. This is Joe Raduca on the corner kick for the Drillers. Curls it in there nicely. Rossingero can't get a head on it. And it's kicked out of there, but it'll be a free kick for the Cosmos, a foul called in the goal area, penalty area. And Birkenmeyer will tee it up. Plays it off to Yarushi now. 2-0 the score for the Drillers. Kirshner and Lona Vegas with the goal, both coming in the first half, and we've got an exciting second half of play, but no goals. The Drillers have been spraying balls all over the Cosmo net, most of them going high, but they're getting the chances, which the Cosmos so far this half have not. This is DiBernardo now. Tries to get a ball into the area, but can't. Van der Elst over for Eskandarian. At the top of the penalty area, chips the ball in. Lona Vegas heads it right back up. That goes out of play. Throw in Cosmos. Bouillon is a big player, Brian. He really has the size advantage in front of that goal.
Good physique as well, Randy. He's very, very well built. Good, strong player.
Here's Eskandarian at the back line. Curls it into the front of the net. It's a little bit too far for everybody, and John Webb runs from behind a couple of Cosmos to get the ball. He kicks it upfield right to Jeff Durgan. Tapping it over to DiBernardo and over to Borja on the near side. Chico Borja working against Raduca, trying to get a ball in there to Romero. Cosmos unable to penetrate at this point. They're having a lot of trouble getting it inside the Drillers' 35. Standing up at that line and keeping this New York team from getting in close where they can utilize their big forwards and, of course, Canalia. Here's a chance. There's a ball played right off the head of Peter Nogley. John Webb makes a nice play to get it back out. The Drillers are just playing so well now, Brian.
They're playing well defensively. The players are all back. The midfield players are back. They're all helping each other out. They want this game very, very badly.
There's a foul called, and it'll be a free kick for the Edmonton Drillers. The foul called on Julio Cesar Romero. There's a look at Peter Nogley, and we wonder if we will see him here next year. There's been some rumors, I suppose, that he'll be sold at the end of this season and moving on. But there have been all kinds of rumors this year, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Kirshner gets a head on it. Ongaro tries to come up to make a play. And there's a chance for the Drillers, but the ball goes all the way through back to Birkenmeyer. Just over 6.5 minutes to go here in regulation play. The Drillers ahead 2-0. The Cosmos try and get something on the board and avoid a shutout. They've lost their last 2 straight, having scored 1 goal in both those games. They're in danger here of losing their 3rd straight, the first time that's happened in some 7 years. There's Borja playing a ball into Eskandarian. Perdialaya makes the save and keeps it in play over to Huskabee. Christensen on the far sideline to Raduca. Raduca playing a nice ball in for Lona Vegas. Lona Vegas trying to get by Bogicevic, but he has control of the ball and plays it upfield to Eskandarian. This is Eskandarian. Taps it into midfield for Yarushi. Chipping it into the goal area for Canalia. Canalia goes up with Bernie James, and James doing another fine job to win a ball away from Giorgio Canalia. Perdialaya anticipating that, comes out of his goal, and the Drillers have it back. Kai Huskabee along the sidelines for Christensen, but it curls out of play, and it'll be a throw-in coming up for Cosmos.
Well, there's about 5 minutes left in the game, Randy. It doesn't look as though New York's going to get back in this game at all. They've really done nothing in the way of goal-scoring threats.
Well, an 8-point victory for the Edmonton Drillers today would give them 112 points. And depending on what else helps today, we'll have to update those wild cards for you when we can, but depending on other games being played today. There's a ball played into the area. Borja trying to win it, but Webb gets ahead on it before it goes over the end line, and it'll be a corner kick again coming up to the New York Cosmos. Just over 4.5 minutes to go in regulation play. And the 14,781 here, anticipating a Driller victory now as the clock begins to wind down, but you never know with these Cosmos. Here's Borja off the corner, and it's headed out by Nogley back over the line, so they'll try the corner again. The goals coming at the 37-minute mark and the 42-minute mark, both in the first half for the Drillers. Borja again on the corner kick. Alaya comes out of his goal area to punch it away. And a handball called against the Cosmos inside the Driller penalty area, and it'll be a free kick for Edmonton. Exactly 4 minutes to go now in the second half of play, and congratulations to Miss Leslie Zwinka of Thornhill, Alberta. She will get a voucher from Harvey's to be part of our Japanese giveaway draw that we'll make on Tuesday, and somebody will win a trip for 2 to Japan via Japan Airlines. Drew Ferguson deep in the Cosmo corner. Finally, it's kicked out of there, and it'll be a corner kick for the Drillers. Oh, no, they're calling goal kick now, saying it went off Ferguson. And he protests that to the linesman, but does not win that protest, and it'll be Birkenmeyer for the goal kick. Just about 3 minutes left now. Bouillon with the ball for the Cosmos. They face the prospect of a shutout here at Commonwealth Stadium. Bouillon stops at center. There's a ball played in for Romero off his head. Pinalia trying to get there, but Bernie James is there first. Bouillon again trying to head it to one of his teammates, but Tommy Christensen is there. He gets it to Eddie Kirshner, and the Drillers really showing some skill here in this game, Brian, and I would have to say they've really risen to the occasion today.
Oh, they've played very well. They've never allowed New York to come into the game properly in the second half, which was the key. They haven't scored any goals themselves, but they've had the chances. They probably had as good a chance in the second half at any time in the game. They haven't put the ball away, but they've contained New York extremely well, no question at all.
Here's a ball played into deep Driller territory to the end line, curled back in front. Eddie Kirshner just kicks it over the... Looked like it was going to go out of play, but it was high, and it went to Nogley. And here comes Dwight Lodovegas. He puts it along the near sideline for John Webb. He stops it as Christensen sprinting there. Lays it right along the sideline for Tommy Christensen. He has 2 Cosmos watching him, Eskandarian in close. Christensen showing some great skill here, controlling the ball and keeping it away from 2 Cosmo players. Borja coming up from behind now. Borja finally gets a foot on it to get it away from Christensen, but Tommy Christensen really has played a fine game for the Edmonton Drillers today, and that was an example of it right there. Little mix-up there between Borja and Ferguson. You're watching Driller Soccer on CFRN TV. Just over a minute to go here in regulation play. The Edmonton Drillers leading the New York Cosmos by a score of 2-0, and at this point it would look like the Drillers are going to shut out this #1 team overall in the North American Soccer League. They have the ball in Cosmo territory, getting set on the throw-in. It's Huskavy throwing it in there. Here's a chance for the Drillers again. Lodovegas just about gets through. Eskandarian finally kicks it out of play, and it'll be another throw-in for the Drillers. And Huskavy throwing it back to Peter Nogley. Over for Joe Reduca. Reduca in for Lodovegas. Dropped it back to Peter Nogley. All the way over on the other side now to Tommy Christensen. Canalia prowling that area there, looking for some breakaway pass, but I don't think it's going to come. Here's Drew Ferguson curling it in. 10 seconds to go in regulation play. Offside call on the Drillers there. Cosmos free kick. They put it into play Immediately, the crowd counting down the clock here. 2, 1. Stadium clock expires. The game is over. And the Edmonton Drillers have shut out the New York Cosmos by a score of 2-0, Brian. And certainly a surprising effort by the Drillers, and a very fine one indeed.
A good team game, Randy. It's probably one of the best team games I've played all year. Really, Petula didn't have much to do in goal. When he was called upon to make saves, he made key saves. The defense played very well. Midfield played very well. Tommy Christensen, Drew Ferguson did a lot of running tonight and today, and really they've got to be pleased with themselves. It was just an all-round good team game.
All right, so the final score is Edmonton 2, the New York Cosmos 0.
Shopping into
Fired victory over the #1 team in the league.
It might be too little too late, Randy, as regards a playoff spot, but they did play a good game. There's no question. It was a good team effort. The defense played well. Bainey James had an outstanding game. John Webb played well. Peter Nobley played well. The midfield did a lot of running today. Ascovy, Tommy Christensen, Drew Ferguson was very effective offensively as well as defensively. In the forwards, they ran. Ongaro was back playing defensive role, as with Eddie Kirshner. So it was just a great team effort. It really was.
Well, I think the most surprising thing is that it only took one goal for the Edmonton Drillers to defeat the New York Cosmos, and that was Eddie Kirshner's goal in the first half.
Right, it was a simply classic goal, basically. It started on the wing. Drew Ferguson had hold of the ball. He stood there with the ball. He waited. John Webb came on the overlap. Drew Ferguson just simply tapped the ball off to him. It was going towards the byline. John Webb looks up. He sees Kai Haskavy on the far post. He floats the ball across. Nice. Haskavy just got up to the ball lovely because there was a defender in front of him, but he jumped, beat him cleanly, put the ball back into the middle. Eddie Kirshner was there and hit the ball with the left foot into the roof of the net. Very simple goal, but a lovely goal.
The Lethbridge Brewery Driller Player of the Game is selected by the Edmonton media, who also scored a goal for the Edmonton Drillers tonight, was defender Dwight Lodovegas, playing in a midfield role today, and what a fine job he did. So the Edmonton Drillers' playoff hopes take a turn for the good for a change. After 6 straight losses, they come up with a victory here today over the New York Cosmos, and they indeed are still alive in the wild card race, but will have to win a couple of games, maybe their remaining 3, in order to get into the playoffs. So once again, the final score here at Commonwealth Stadium, the Edmonton Drillers 2, the New York Cosmos 0.
Ah, Tokyo. Modern, ancient, traditional, and not as expensive to get to as you might think. Not when you ask your travel agent a budget.